What up, YouTube? Here with Talk Boxing, episode number 14. On this episode, I'm going to be previewing all the upcoming bouts for this Saturday. First fight I'm going to be giving my predictions on is the Teofimo Lopez Sandor Martin fight. This should be a good competitive bout between two good fighters. Of course, Teofimo Lopez, former champion at the lightweight division. He made his debut at the super lightweight division in his last fight, and he looked good in his last fight, and he also was successful in his debut at the super lightweight division. And Sandor Martin, he's been a good contender at the super lightweight division for quite a while now, and of course he made some noise in the boxing scene in his last fight versus Mikey Garcia, where he pulled off that upset win. And this Saturday is going to be on ESPN, Teofimo Lopez versus Sandor Martin, and they got a strong undercard as well. And yeah, if y'all a boxing fan, y'all should definitely be tuning in to that event this coming Saturday. We got what's his name, Jared Anderson, Bruce Carrington, Keyshawn Davis. These are all good up-and-coming prospects in the sport of boxing that a lot of boxing fans should be tapping into. So it's going to be a very, very strong card for this upcoming Saturday for the event of Teofimo Lopez versus Sandor Martin. Anyways, let's get to the previewing part for the main event for that card, Lopez versus Martin. Lopez, he's a good, explosive, fast counter-punching fighter. We know what he's capable of course, because he was at the top of the lightweight division, and that division is one of the most competitive, most lively divisions in the sport of boxing right now. And Sandor Martin, a lot of boxing fans hasn't really been noticed of him and what he's capable of, because he wasn't really known like that up until his win over Mikey Garcia. He was fighting mostly out there in Europe, and now he's more recognizable amongst boxing fans because Mikey Garcia, he retired now, but he was a very recognizable fighter in the sport of boxing. And for Martin in his last fight to have that win over him definitely catapulted him to a next level as far as his notoriety goes in the sport of boxing. But he's also a good counterpuncher as well, and he's got a good jab. He likes to lead his offense with his lead hand. He's a southpaw fighter, and his signature punch is catching his opponents off guard, countering them with his counter right hook. While Teofimo Lopez, when he likes to throw with his backhand, he tends to lunge in a lot of the times, and Sandor Martin could definitely take advantage of that. While Teofimo Lopez, on the other hand, he also is a great counterpuncher when his opponent tends to reach, and Sandor Martin, when he throws that cross, he tends to be reaching a lot, and Teofimo Lopez is very good at counterpunching his opponents when they get off balance and tend to reach a lot. While Teofimo Lopez is the faster puncher, the faster fighter, so he's got that speed advantage. So Sandor Martin is definitely going to have to be looking out for those counter strikes from Teofimo Lopez when he gets caught off balance and mistimes his offense, and when he gets caught reaching at Teofimo Lopez. And Teofimo Lopez has a low guard, Philly shell defensive stance, while Sandor Martin has a high guard. And Sandor Martin, like I said, likes to get into his groove and lead with his jab, and he uses that lead hand a lot. And Teofimo Lopez, having that low Philly shell guard, he could get caught with that jab of Sandor Martin, and Sandor Martin's got quite a precise, accurate jab as well. So Teofimo Lopez is going to have to be on the lookout for that as well. Teofimo Lopez, I think, has the upper hand when it comes to this fight Saturday. I think, like I said, he's the faster puncher, the faster fighter. He's more explosive, and I think he carries more more power in his hands. And regardless of the fact that Teofimo Lopez is quite new to the super lightweight division, I think his frame fits that weight class a lot better than he did at lightweight. I think he feels more comfortable fighting at super lightweight than at lightweight. So I don't think that weight adjustment is going to be any problems for Teofimo Lopez. It should be a good fun fight this Saturday. Definitely looking forward to it. Anyways, moving along to the next fight, and that next fight is Terence Crawford. He will be defending his WBO welterweight title versus David Avanesyan. Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but bear with me though. Terence Crawford, this isn't the best quality opponent that he could face. Of course, as fans, we always looking forward to Terence Crawford possibly having that undisputed welterweight title bout versus Errol Spence, but that got canceled. And hopefully, if most likely Crawford will be successful in his title defense this coming Saturday versus Avanesyan, who isn't as known in the welterweight division. This will be my first time seeing David Avanesyan fight. I've seen highlights and some clips of him and his strongholds from other preview videos for this up-and-coming WBO welterweight title bout. But Terence Crawford, his biggest criticism throughout his career has been for the lack of quality in his opponents throughout his career. His best opponents that he's fought has been Sean Porter, Amir Khan, Kell Brook. Khan and Brook were out of their primes when they fought Crawford. He fought Victor Postol when he was somewhat in his prime. Jeff Horn after he defeated Pacquiao. Regardless of the fact that it was quite a controversial decision, Terence Crawford hasn't fought the amount of top quality opponents as the other champion at the welterweight division, Errol Spence. Not saying Terence Crawford is a less skilled fighter, because he is very highly skilled when it comes to boxing ability. And Terence Crawford, he's probably one of the best switch hitters in the sport of boxing right now. One of the most well-accomplished boxers in the sport right now. He was a former undisputed champion, three-time divisional champion, and David Avanesyan, he seems to be a good aggressive fighter with a high guard, and he's a volume puncher as well, and he's a early starter as well. And Terence Crawford is a late starter. He likes to read his opponents and fill them out in the earlier rounds and study them, and then he will go to work once he figures out how to defeat his opponents. And Avanesyan, if he wants to tally up some points, it's gonna have to coming from the earlier rounds when Crawford is taking it easy and not stepping on the gas pedal. And Avanesyan, he's also, from what I've seen, a good switch hitter as well. He could switch from southpaw to orthodox and could hit with power within both hands, much like Terence Crawford. But when it comes to technical skills and fundamentals, Terence Crawford definitely has the edge when it comes to that factor. Like I said, this isn't the best fight, and this isn't the fight that most fans want to see from Terence Crawford. But as a fan of Terence Crawford, or as a fan of the sport of boxing in general, we gonna want to see what Terence Crawford is capable of. I don't think he's gonna show any signs of ring rust, because he's taken some time off like this before and has looked good in the ring. I know he's only getting older. He's almost in his late 30s now. And people's gonna want to see how he performs heading into a possible undisputed title fight, that mega fight between him and Errol Spence. So if we want to see that fight, we want to keep up to date with what Terence Crawford can do in the ring before that possible undisputed welterweight title fight. And as far as my prediction goes for this fight, I'm picking Terence Crawford to win via late round stoppage. I say maybe 10th or 9th round. Terence Crawford puts an end to the bout versus David Avanesyan. I think after the 3rd or 4th round is when Terence Crawford is gonna start dominating the fight. yeah, that's my predictions. Anyways, moving on to the next fight for this coming Saturday, you got the IBF Featherweight Title bout between Josh Warrington and Luis Alberto Lopez. Now, this might be the best fight as far as styles go and as far as fan-friendly style fights go, and it's going to be the most competitive, I can tell you that. And I know I said Teofimo Lopez versus Sandor Martinez is going to be very competitive as well. It is, but it's not going to be as competitive as the Warrington Alberto Lopez fight, stylistically speaking, and as far as odds go in this fight as well, and how close they are when it comes to the matching part. And Sandor Martinez, he's also a last-minute replacement opponent for Pedraza, who was the original scheduled opponent for Teofimo Lopez, but he had to pull out of that fight. But Luis Alberto Ortiz is the number one ranked contender with the IBF, and Warrington, he looked impressive in his last fight versus Kiko Martinez, where he won the IBF Featherweight title. And Josh Warrington is one of the more fearsome fighters in the featherweight division. When we look to the featherweight division and its most active fights, Josh Warrington has been in a lot of those, and he's a fan-friendly style fighter. He's one of those fan favorites over there in the UK. And Luis Alberto Ortiz, man, he's a good aggressive fighter. He's a good in-ring, high IQ, very smart fighter in the ring as well. He's a good boxer, puncher, very aggressive, and he works off of volume as well. But he's very smart and very technically sound, is what I'm saying, as far as, you know, him utilizing his angles and utilizing his footwork throughout the fights that he fights. And Josh Warrington, he's a good come forward aggressive fighter as well. His work ethic is unquestionable, and yeah, he's a very volume based fighter as well, and it's gonna be a fun fight. Luis Alberto Lopez, pardon, he's a come forward fighter as well. And like I said, Warrington, he might outwork him as far as volume and as far as his ability to put combinations of punches together. But Alberto Lopez, he can utilize angles, and he's got the technical advantage when it comes to boxing skills. So Josh Warrington's gonna have to be looking out for that when he comes forward, because both of them is gonna be coming forward and meeting head to head. But he's gonna have to be looking out for the different angles and the footwork advantage that Luis Alberto Lopez has over him in this fight. And Warrington, in his only defeat versus Mauricio Lara, it was an upset loss that he took. And in the rematch, it looked like he was going to lose that fight as well, up until the accidental headbutt that had called a halt to the bout. Alberto Lopez, I would say, is somewhat more skilled than Mauricio Lara is. So Josh Warrington is gonna have to be careful in this fight. And as far as my prediction goes, I'm picking Luis Alberto Lopez to win via a decision. It's gonna be a very good, very competitive fight. It's gonna be a fun fight for the fans to tap into. And yeah, this isn't a fight that fans are gonna want to miss. And it's gonna be over there in England, so Josh Warrington is going to have that hometown advantage. But the judges over there in the UK doesn't have a bad reputation when it comes to robbing the rightful fighters who should win the fight when it comes to officiating out there. It's not like Texas, or it's not, you know, like those cities where they're synonymous to having bad officiating when it comes to the sport of boxing. And Josh Warrington, you know, he's taken L's in his hometown before. I know when he lost to Mauricio Lara, and his only defeat in his career was via knockout, so it wasn't up to the judges' hands when it came to that. But I think this is going to be one of those wars that boxing fans always look forward to. It should be one of those fight of the year candidate style fights. So definitely gonna want to be looking out for that fight if you're a boxing fan or fan of combat sports, period. Anyways, moving along to the next fight, that's gonna be on this Saturday. I don't know what network this fight's gonna be on. This Manny Pacquiao versus DKU. I have no idea who DKU is, but I want to talk about this fight because you see Floyd Mayweather and other boxing legends. Y'all remember when Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones in 2020? Ever since then, retired boxers, former boxers, well, I'm not going to say former, boxing greats that have retired from boxing have been coming back to the ring to put on these exhibition bouts. I don't want to say, it's to keep them relevant. I know it's a easy bag for them to grab. So I'm not knocking their hustle at all. You see Floyd Mayweather, he's been active fighting other kickboxers and YouTubers, and I guess Manny Pacquiao is following the same footsteps. I know Manny Pacquiao was running for presidency out there in the Philippines, and I don't know what happened with that. And I know he plays basketball and sings and all that, but I guess he's gonna be doing exhibition bouts as well. I don't know how often he's gonna be doing it. Now, if y'all know who DKU is and what his resume looks like, y'all let me know. But I'm not gonna be giving my predictions on this fight. I don't know how busy Manny Pacquiao has been when it comes to keeping in shape with his physicality. So I might tap into this fight to see how Manny Pacquiao performs in the ring versus DKU, because I'm not as watching like a Pacquiao versus Marquez or Pacquiao in his prime. Of course, I'm not expecting that, but this is a legend. So a lot of fans who are fans of Manny Pacquiao or fans of the sport of boxing that are familiar with Manny Pacquiao, is gonna be wanting to tune into this fight. And I don't know. I'm not knocking it. I think this is a trend that a lot of greats that have retired from the sport of boxing has gotten into. I don't want to say to stay relevant. Like I said, whatever they do, they're always going to be relevant for the great deeds that they done for the sport of boxing. So I know a lot of fans are going to be wanting to watch this fight to see Manny Pacquiao back in the ring again. Anyways, this does it for this episode of Talk Boxing. Y'all let me know what fight y'all looking forward to the most for this Saturday. Y'all let me know who y'all picking to win for all the fights coming this Saturday. Comment, subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.